Here's the thing. Your plants can be perfectly healthy, and your yard can still look like a mess. It's not the plants. It's 7 design habits that trip up almost every gardener, from how you shop at the nursery to where your eye lands when you step outside. Some of these are so simple, you'll fix them in a weekend. Let's start with the one nearly all of us are guilty of. Number 1, and it is the habit I see most often, buying one of everything at the nursery. It feels exciting in the moment, grabbing one of each new plant and imagining a bed full of surprises. But when you bring it all home and plant a single lavender here, a lone spirea there, and a handful of one-off perennials scattered around, the result is a yard that reads as scattered and restless. The eye jumps from plant to plant, never finding a rhythm. Designers talk about repetition as the heartbeat of a garden. Studies using eye tracking software show that viewers rate gardens higher for beauty and calm when they spot repeated shapes or colors, especially in odd numbers like 3 or 5. There is even a name for it, the rule of odds. Instead of a patchwork, try picking one hero plant, say lavender or a dwarf shrub, and repeating it every 6 to 10 feet along a border or around your entry. You can plant 3 to 5 of the same variety for less than $60, since a 3-gallon lavender runs about $8 to $12 at most nurseries. I have seen firsthand how this simple trick, grouping plants in odd numbers and repeating them, turns a jumbled bed into something that feels calm and intentional. If you do just one thing this weekend, try repeating a single favorite plant 3 times. You will be surprised how much more organized your garden feels overnight. In second place, nothing makes a garden look messier faster than a bed with no clear edge. When the line between lawn and planting bed is fuzzy, the whole yard starts to feel unfinished, like a painting without a frame. The eye does not know where the garden begins or ends, so everything just blends into a blur. But there is a reason professional gardens always have a crisp boundary. Research on garden preference shows that viewers rate beds with defined edges as more organized and more beautiful, even when the plants inside are identical. You have a few DIY options that work for almost any yard and budget. A simple mowing strip, 12 to 18 inches wide, lets you run the mower right along the bed and keeps grass from creeping in. For a sharper look, a 4 to 6 inch metal edging strip creates a clean, modern line. These galvanized steel panels cost about $3.50 to $8.80 per foot, and I have installed a 30-foot run in less than 2 hours on a Saturday. Paver strips or even a bark mulch edge can work too, but nothing beats the tidy look of a steel or aluminum border. Judges at neighborhood garden tours have actually called out crisp edging as the single fastest way to make a yard look finished. If you want instant polish, try marking your edge with a hose, digging a shallow trench, and tapping in a metal strip. For under $200, you can give your garden a picture frame, and suddenly every plant inside reads as intentional, not accidental. Third on our list, color chaos is one of the fastest ways a garden can go from soothing to overwhelming. When every flower bed is packed with reds, yellows, purples, and oranges, plus a few neon annuals for good measure, the result is visual noise that leaves the eye nowhere to rest. I've stood in plenty of yards where the intention was cheerful variety, but the effect is more like a box of crayons dumped out on the lawn. The New York Botanical Garden recommends a simple fix. Stick to 2 main colors, plus a neutral, and keep the entire palette to 4 hues or fewer. If you want a calm, cohesive look, try picking one dominant flower color, one accent, and let foliage, greens, silvers, or even burgundy do the rest of the talking. There is even an easy test. Hold your plant choices together in the nursery before you buy. If your eye jumps around or you can't find a restful spot, it is a sign to pare back. I like to limit each main color to about a quarter of the total plants in a bed. That way, no single shade shouts over the others, and the whole garden feels more pulled together. You don't have to give up your favorites. Just group them with intention. A simple palette brings instant harmony, and it is much easier to layer height and texture when the colors aren't fighting for attention. Try the 2-hue plus neutral rule in one bed this season and see how much calmer your garden feels. Number 4. A garden where every plant sits at the same height can feel as flat as a sheet of cardboard, no matter how lush the leaves or bright the blooms. When there's no rise and fall, the eye just skims the surface, missing the sense of depth that makes a border inviting. The fix is all about layering. Picture your beds in 3 bands: tall plants, 3 to 6 feet, at the back, medium growers in the 1 to 3 foot range in the middle, and low ground covers under a foot at the front edge. That's the classic backbone of a border, and it's not just for show. University extension guides recommend spacing ground covers 8 to 12 inches apart, grasses 12 to 24 inches, and perennials anywhere from 15 to 36 inches depending on their mature spread. Shrubs near walls or patios should sit at least half their mature width away from the hard surface to keep the space feeling open. I've watched a crowded single-height rose border in Arkansas transform after the gardener pulled out a third of the plants, set tall grasses at the back, and tucked low thyme along the front. Suddenly, the whole bed breathed. If you want your garden to feel layered and intentional, map out those 3 height bands and give each group its own space. The result is a border that draws you in, not one that stops you at the edge. Number 5. Overcrowding is the garden mistake that quietly sneaks up on you. Even healthy, lush plants can leave a bed looking cramped and chaotic if there is no room to breathe. When every inch is packed, your eye and your plants have nowhere to rest. During the Pacific Northwest heat dome, beds spaced at just 6 inches apart lost 60% of their foliage, while those with more space bounced back with new growth. Here is the math that makes the difference. Take the mature width of your plant and multiply by 0.66. That is your minimum spacing. For a plant that will grow 30 inches across, set them about 20 inches apart. And do not be afraid to leave 30 to 50% of each bed as open space, mulched, not bare. It might look sparse at first, but that negative space protects roots, cools the soil, and lets every plant shine. If your beds are already crowded, thinning is free except for a bit of elbow grease. Dig out extra stems, mulch the gaps, and water deep. You will see the whole garden relax, and so will your plants. Leave space for air and light, and your yard will feel instantly less messy. Number 6. A garden without texture or shape can feel oddly lifeless, even if every plant is healthy and green. When all the foliage is the same, fine, flat, or just one type of leaf, the eye slides right past, missing the movement and depth that make a border interesting. The fix is to mix things up. Pair fine, grassy textures with bold, broad leaves, or set upright, spiky forms next to something soft and mounding. For example, I like how Miscanthus Little Zebra brings stripy drama to a clump of bee balm, or how Millenia's airy blades set off the silvery spires of Russian sage. Black mondo grass next to a patch of white star creeper creates a sharp, tactile contrast that's hard to ignore. The rule I use is simple. Add 1 ornamental grass for every 4 to 6 feet of border, and give each clump at least 12 to 18 inches of space so they do not blend into a solid mass. Most 3-gallon grasses run $12 to $18, so you can upgrade a 10-foot stretch for under $150. Once you start thinking in texture as well as colors, your garden picks up a whole new layer of interest. Try swapping one stretch of flat foliage for a grass and perennial pairing this season and see how much more alive the space feels. Number 7, and here's the piece that pulls everything together. A garden with no visual anchor leaves your eye wandering, never quite sure where to land. Even when the plants are healthy and the beds are tidy, something still feels unfinished, like a room with all the furniture pushed to the walls and nothing in the center. A visual anchor gives the garden a sense of home. It might be as simple as a trio of boxwood shrubs, a bold planter, a weathered bench, a bird bath, a big boulder, or a specimen tree. The right anchor doesn't have to be expensive. A cluster of 3 matching shrubs can do the job for under $60, while a statement maple or a sculptural boulder can make a bigger splash if your budget allows. The key is placement. Most designers use the rule of thirds. Imagine your yard as a grid and place your anchor off-center on one of the power points where those lines cross. This little shift adds instant interest and keeps the space from feeling stiff or predictable. I've seen gardens go from forgettable to award-winning with just one well-placed anchor, like the Virginia homeowner who added a small maple and a boulder to a bare corner and saw the whole scene come alive. If your yard still feels like it's missing something, try measuring out a third of the way along your main view and setting an anchor there. One strong focal point is often all it takes to tie the whole garden together. Across all 7 design mistakes, one thing stands out. A garden that feels restful is not just about healthy plants. It is about giving the eye a place to land and a path to follow. Intentional choices shape the calm. Your yard can feel finished, not fussy. Thanks for growing with me.